they talk about another kind of world.
Results so far in this new car this year. Had Dream
Barrel one. Right on his tail. Every point desperate for these drivers tonight in this qualifying process. Brad McGee winning a heat as well. So this is the one where Hayden Hart, part of this group, 74, so James Brady. These two are switching positions. Concrete wall, straight off the start. Oh, massive shot. Mitch Vickery just on it. Lobbing into the concrete wall down there in turn 2.
So in Sheffield, talking to Mitch Vickery. Mitch, it was a year ago, and we spoke at a very successful Northampton, and you're back again for World Final this year.
Yes, really been looking forward to coming back since last year, I guess. Really enjoyed myself, so yeah, stoked to be back in World Final on Shale this year as well. Probably suits us Kiwis a little bit more, so made it a bit more exciting.
Yeah, we spoke last year, and it's kind of tarmac's like a different beast for you. You don't race on tarmac, and then we saw, like, I guess, how good you are at Northampton with that third in the World Masters and best New Zealand finisher in that kind of race.
Yeah, like I say, we're no tarmac at home, so to come here, we're trying to adapt to like a whole new car, and then the racing style is so different, being like open wheel versus what we have at home, and then to add tarmac in as well, it's such a challenge. I did enjoy it, the tarmac, especially at practice when it was dry, but to go to Ipswich, tarmac, and then add water.
Yes,
oh man, there's honestly the hardest thing I've ever driven as far as like needing to be smooth. It was a challenge for sure.
I spoke to Bex before you, and she kind of talked about first time out of Formula 1 Bradford last night, and it's a whole different way of driving compared to what you're used to, and it's quite difficult to then adapt to that in a race as well, because you haven't got like an hour to practice, have you? You're kind of in a race situation.
Yeah, for sure. With me coming here last year, that's definitely helped me. Like, I guess I understand a little bit more, and there's just even getting your head around how the lights work here and the starts, and there's just so much going on. So definitely a lot easier coming back this time, and I fully know what it's like for those guys here for the first time. That was me last year. But yeah, even just to get out last night at Bradford, do some laps, and just I didn't really care where I finished. I just wanted to get some laps in and just try and get my head back around that driving style and protecting my wheels and that. Just had a good night in the V8 as well, but a little bit easier in the V8 with the wheels are just that bit more protected, which so it's more similar to home, made it that bit easier to adapt.
So in terms of Bradford, is that the first time you've done Bradford?
I did Bradford last year as well.
You did. Do you like? It's a very fast track.
Yeah, I really liked Bradford. A lot of people here seem to, I don't know, not to like so much like a damaged track. They was telling me just that turn 3 and 4, it catches you out. But I like that track. It's not the same, but it's a bit similar to home, how some of our tracks, one corner very different to the other corner, makes it a bit of a challenge. That turn 3 and 4, how you have to send it in so wide and out to the wall, that makes it challenging to pass here, I find, because you can't punt them into the corner because you just end up pushing them into the line where you want to be.
Because the racing line's so high at Bradford, isn't it?
Yeah, so normally you push them wide off the racing line. Well, there you push them and you just push them on the good line, and you still haven't passed them.
It's really difficult. You've got 16 laps to figure it all out.
Yeah. But no, I really enjoyed last night at Bradford. I quite like that track, and I was actually a bit worried with the rain how bad it would be, but the shale, it's better than at home. Like if it was a straight clay track with a bit of water like you see at Northampton, you just can't move. So I was surprised how good the track was last night considering the weather. If that had been at home with that rain, we probably would have cancelled the race meeting.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we race in any conditions, so it's
madness.
madness.
It's madness.
It's ridiculous. This year you're using a car supplied by Charlie Sauter.
Yeah, that's right. Charlie came over in January, raced my car at the World 240s, so in return I've got Mick's car, the grey one that Charlie had been racing before his new one was built, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Very good car.
Yeah, really good car, and they've sorted everything out for me, so really appreciative of that. Likewise with Barnard's with the V8, that car last night was awesome to drive, and they've just fully sorted everything for me, so can't thank everyone here enough who sorts it all out, and I guess that's why when they come to New Zealand I really try and help these guys as well, because I know what it's like to come here, and it's fully foreign to us, and we don't know a lot of people in there, and you're out of your comfort zone.
You're on the other side of the world, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? It's not like you've just gone down the road to a race meeting the other side of the world, and you haven't got everybody here with you. So
it's literally that. It's the other side of the world, and some things here just really don't make sense. I was just saying to people, I just don't understand how on a caution you put a yellow light on and you stop.
Yeah.
At the end of the race, the light goes red and you drive slow.
Yeah.
Every other traffic light in the world, red is stop, and in Formula One it's slow. I don't understand this.
Just follow everybody else and do
Yeah,
what they
that's
do.
all you can do. Yeah.
In terms of the car, obviously a very good car that Mick and Charlie are giving you. Any chance for practice, or is that going to be the Friday night?
No practice race meetings, but we are going to try and get to Kings Lynn Monday week and have a few laps there just to get a feel for the car and that. A couple of us going out. Yeah. So that'll be good just to get used to the pedals and stuff. Like every car here is also different, much like home. You know, everyone builds them different. And Mick's car, the pedals are different. You've got like clutch over brake, the pedals on top of each other and stuff. So it'd be good just get my head around that, get a feel for it. I'm going to shoot off to Sorters tonight after this meeting and just a few final touches on the car and get comfortable. So should be good.
And you know, you have got a bit more of an advantage because you raced here last year. You know Northampton very well. Are you feeling kind of quite confident and comfortable going into the World Final weekend?
Probably more confident than last year for sure.
Yeah.
But hey, man, to be honest, I'd love to come here and do well. But if I can just finish, I'll be happy. Man, those World Final races, they're so hard to finish. And if you look back, the majority of Kiwis don't even finish.
Yeah.
And I guess the finish rate of the race, like often not that many cars finish in comparison to home. You know, in a 30-car field at home, you know, for sure at times a lot of cars don't, but generally majority of the field finishes the race. So whereas like sometimes in those World Finals, if only a dozen cars finish, you know, it's just chaos out there. Some of the freight trains, especially off the start. So sometimes it's a race of survival too. You know, to finish first, you got to finish.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you've got a social media manager this year. You've posted some nice videos on your kind of trip so far. You went to Venray, and which is great, isn't it? People giving an insight here and at home, what you're doing.
Yeah, I just found before I came here, I had no idea what it was like, obviously, and then after being here, heading home, just so many questions, and people like yourself at home that do like kind of social media interviews and all that. They'll want to interview you and talk about it, and like somewhat repeating yourself. Yeah. Everyone's got the same questions. Everyone's so interested, they want to know, and then trying to explain to them how it works. You can't explain it. Yeah. So I was like, my mate Tony's come along and decided let's take some videos and try and show people back home what it's like a bit. Maybe then I won't have to explain so much. But it's just really cool, you know. And Tony found last year he obviously wasn't here, and sitting at home, like, he wanted to see what was happening, you know. So people like him will show them, and had a lot of good feedback about it, people at home, and it's also cool for like my family and stuff. At home, most of our racing's live streamed, so they could have logged on, but here I think it's just getting started or something. I've seen.
Much, I had a few bits and bobs, but nothing really.
There's not really a way for people back home to keep in touch. Although you guys do a great job, I feel, of the social media, like the posting up just the results like straight away after the races and the photos you do and all that. I think it's really good, the promotion in that respect. So it's awesome.
And apart from racing, anything else you're going to do while you're over? Any kind of like, I want to go and see Buckingham Palace, or is there anything like that on your agenda?
Oh, nothing too crazy. We flew in Thursday before Venray, so we've kind of already had a week just to cruise around. Caught up with those guys you've seen in the video around Holland, hung out with the Teslas, went to Venray, kind of caught up with everyone, and then we drove over to Germany, visited the Nürburgring, did a few laps there, and then we've just literally had nothing planned. We've been winging it. We just had a rental car and we're like, oh, what are we going to do now? I don't know. We just drove to Paris. So ended up in France, went to Paris, drove back to Amsterdam, and then flew here.
Boys on tour, isn't it?
So,
absolutely.
We've literally booked nothing this entire trip. We just landed, rental car, and we just do whatever. So it's been good. And my dad and my partner Meg, they land here on Wednesday. We'll go down to London, pick them up, and don't know where we'll go from there.
No, absolutely. Lovely to talk to you again, and I'm sure we'll talk before the World Final, but good luck if we don't at the World Final.
Awesome, mate. That's great to see you.